Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, Kiowa, and Sugaree peoples. We honor them. My name is Elaine Deck, and as soon as I get this mint out of my mouth, I can talk about it. Better now. My name is still Elaine Deck, and I will be the worship assistant this morning for the Reverend Dr. Amy Reel. We're a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming congregation that includes and promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. Excuse me. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all of our visitors and our friends, we're very glad you're here, whether in person or with us online, and we do hope you'll join us again. Our visitors and our members, we're very glad you are here in person or with us online, and your presence is a gift to us. A few announcements this Sunday. 1 week from today, after worship, we're going to have an intro to journaling class. More information is found in your weekly email, and you can email Jennifer at puuc.org for more information, or if you have questions and or would like to sign up. Get ready for our big university gathering yard sale coming up on June 6th, and we need your help to make it a success. We're collecting donations of gently used items, and the donations can be dropped off at the university gathering here during the week leading up to the sale. So start digging through those closets and garages and bring us your gifts. We also need lots of volunteers, so more information can be found in your weekly email. For other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service. Or if you're on our email list, please check your monthly monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. And now, whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
Hear now these words from Julianne Lepp. We seek our place in the world and the answers to our heart's deep questions. As we seek, may our hearts be open to unexpected answers. May the light of our chalice remind us that this is a community of warmth, of wisdom, and welcoming of multiple truths. I invite you to please join me now in singing the words, The Lighting of Our Chalice, and they are found in your bulletin.
May we find
invite you to please rise and body your spirit for our call to worship, which is found in your bulletin. Let us join together. We gather this morning, knowing we do not have all the answers. There are times we wish we knew so much more, or want to act like we do. Let us come together in humility, with hearts curious and open, so that divine light might speak to us. Amen. Our opening hymn is found in our Brave hymnal, number 123, Spirit of Life, and we're going to sing it through twice. Our little ones to come forward for a time for all ages with Miss Jennifer.
Hello. Thank you for, can y'all hear me? All right. Thanks everyone for joining me on the carpet today. I'm glad to see everybody. Oh, so cute. Hello. So this month, we have been talking about embracing curiosity. And today we're going to talk about a particular form of curiosity. We're going to talk about, some of you have heard this word before, pluralism. The idea that we embrace differences and we try to look at the world through different eyes. So today we're going to talk about a story called The Four Seasons of the Pear Tree. You guys are going to help me tell the story a little bit, okay? All right. There once was a man who had 4 children, and he wanted to teach each of them about the dangers of judging things too quickly before seeing all aspects of the situation. So, he decided to send each one of them on a journey, one after the other, to observe a distant pear tree. Okay, so each child traveled during a different season. The first one in winter, the second one in summer, winter, spring, the third in summer, and the fourth in fall. All right, and at the end of the year, he brought them all together and asked them what they had seen and observed. So the first child traveled in winter to the tree. So let's use our imagination. So what do you think a pear tree would look like in the winter? What do you think the first child would see? So no leaves, it would look dead. What else? What else might be? What? It's alive, but it doesn't have any leaves, right? So the first child, yeah. It's asleep during winter. So it looks kind of gnarly, no leaves, and it's just kind of bare there in the winter. Bare, no leaves. So the second child traveled in the spring. And so this child disagreed completely with the first child. That's not what they had seen at all. So think about, use our imagination, and what does a tree look like in the spring? Like a pear tree. It's growing. It's growing. So what's the first thing you see? Leaves. Little buds and little leaves. And are they dark green or pale green? Sometimes they can be both. That's good. But pale? Really? All right. So the spring, they describe a tree full of promise and the things that can come. The third child traveled in the summer. And how do you think they describe the pear tree? What does it, let's do our imagination again. So what does it, flowers. Okay, so the pears actually bloom in the summer, I think. So this child come upon a tree that was bloomed with flowers. And what do pear flowers look like and smell like? Just use your imagination and take a deep breath. Nectar. Okay, so we have, it smells really honey. They could taste honey. So the third child talked about how beautiful the flowers were and how divine the smell was. And then the fourth child, what season do we have left? Winter, spring, summer, fall. So the fourth child traveled in fall. And they were the most excited of all, because what do you think they came upon? Rabbits! Yeah? What? Where's the harvest of the pear tree? So the fruit of the pear tree was there. And so the fourth child got to experience the harvest of the tree and got to taste the tasty pears. So again, we're going to use our imagination and let's take a bite of the pear. What does it taste like? So it's sour, the pear may be sour. And so the fourth child described sweet. This fourth child described sweet and delicious pears. So the father talked to each of the children, and he told them they were all correct, because they had seen this tree in different seasons of its life. And he told the children that it's really sometimes impossible to judge a tree or a person by only seeing it in different seasons of its life. So sometimes we can't be measured as his people. We can't be measured just for one moment of our lives. Sometimes we have bad days and we make mistakes. We have to see from different points of view and different perspectives, just like the children who saw the tree in different seasons. Sometimes we have the winter of our souls. And so what we need to do is take the whole of a life, all the different seasons and all the actions of a person throughout their life before we can judge and weigh them and their harvest at the end of their life. Does that make sense? Yeah. So which do you think was your favorite season? Yours is winter? So the tree used to live in snow. So you can tell that sometimes we look at things and we see different things depending on our perspective when we look at things differently. Yes. It was really deep. Super deep. And what's it like now? What's it like in your yard now? So you get to see your yard at different times and different perspectives. But both are just as beautiful, aren't they? So y'all want to come back and learn more about pluralism and see things from different perspectives? Yes. All right, awesome.
I don't know if anyone else is ready for a good juicy pear to eat, but apparently it's not the right season, so I have to wait. At this point in time, we are entering to our time for ritual and sacred sharing. We share joys and sorrows, concerns, and milestones. For our first candle we light this week, Eric H., who attends our Salisbury gathering, his father in East Tennessee is working with hospice right now and probably in his last few days. You might recall that Eric's mother passed away just a few months ago, so it's certainly been a lot that he and Eric and Teresa are navigating these days. We have a candle of joy. Anne, who attends our university gathering here, her grandson Anson was married yesterday to Emma, so we're very happy for the new couple. Also on this Mother's Day, we light a candle in thanks for all who've been like a loving mother to us, and also for the mothers who are actively out there doing their thing all the time, helping mother all these wonderful children. We light a candle for all who are being impacted by ICE raids and activity, especially the children who are in detention centers. For peace to prevail in the Middle East, and for our leaders to be guided by peace and care for all peoples, and not guided by visions of war. For all areas of violence around the world, especially the ongoing war in Ukraine. And for our country, especially in light of the gutting of the voting rights in recent days, that we might do all that we can to continue to live into being a society which is guided by justice and compassion for every person. Now at this time, you are invited to come forward as you feel led to do so. You may come forward along the far wall, and we have our prayer stand where you may take a prayer card and fill it out and place it on the stand. You may light a candle of joy or concern. And we also have our shared water where you may place a stone in there if you like. light a few more candles for the things we hold in our hearts which remain unspoken, and also for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. We will now enter into a time for quiet rest, meditation, or prayer. I will sound the singing bowl, and then we will have a period of silence. And during that period, I ask you just to more fully settle into your seat and slow down your breath. And as you deepen your breath, to invite into your heart what it is you most need this morning. After a time of silence, we will join together in our musical meditation.
morning's wisdom reading is entitled The Place Where We Are Right by Yehuda Amichai. From the place where we are right, flowers will never grow in the spring. The place where we are right is hard, trampled, like a yard. But doubts and loves dig up the world like a mole, like a plow. And a whisper will be heard in the place where the ruined house once stood.
Thank you, Elaine. When I first ran across that poem a couple months ago, as I was starting to look this month's services, I am so struck by that first line. From the place where we are right, flowers will never grow in the spring. And then later on, but doubts and loves dig up the world. Our society is one where people are encouraged to be proud of when they are right, or to be very definite and positive about being right about something. I think, we enjoy that experience when we feel like we know we are right about something. Now, one of my favorite stories about finding out someone was not right was back in 2019. Dr. Tasha Stanton, who was an associate professor of clinical pain neuroscience, a field I know very little, almost nothing about. Very smart woman at the University of Southern Australia. She shared about an experience that she had at a professional conference where she had been presenting her research and information. And then afterwards, a man approached her and told her that she did not know enough to speak about the topic. And so he knew this article, the journal article he had read in a professional journal publication, and he recommended that she should really read that. And she said, well, thank you. I'm the one who wrote that article. Dr. Stanton later shared these words. I told him it was a massive compliment that he recommended my own paper, and that I'm glad he enjoyed it and found it useful. But in the future, he might want to be careful not to assume that other people don't know things, especially when you're at a professional conference. We all make mistakes. I certainly have. But hopefully the message got across. Now, this is one of my all-time favorite examples of mansplaining. Have y'all heard that word, some of you? Yes. It's based upon research. Research has well documented that men in kind of Western society tend to consistently speak over women or attempt to explain things when they have less knowledge. In honor of Mother's Day, one of my favorite times, and I see this on social media threads all the time, when a man is trying to tell a woman that, what the pain of childbirth is actually like, and that her body was made for it. It's not really that bad. So. Now, regardless of our gender, admitting that we don't know something is not seen as a virtue in our society. And changing our mind about something we thought we knew can be a true challenge. The Wisdom School website has an article about the quiet courage of changing your mind. Courage. And it has these words. Changing your mind is one of the hardest things a human being can do. It isn't hard because new evidence is rare or because learning is unpleasant. It's hard because beliefs don't just live in the intellect. They live in identity, community, memory, and pride. The quiet courage of changing your mind lies in its humility. It requires acknowledging that your understanding was partial, that your perspective was limited, and or that the world is more complex than the story you once told yourself. I think in this country, we are seeing the impact of how difficult it is for people to change their mind because it's embedded in their identity. To change their mind about any political decisions they've made, even when confronted with lots of evidence about how broken our country is right now. Now there's a very powerful example of someone having enough humility to change their mind. It's found in the New Testament. And it's one of my favorite stories in the whole Bible. It's about Jesus' interaction with a Canaanite woman. Let's remember that Jesus was Jewish. He was a rabbi. And the Canaanite woman came from a different ethnic group. And the Jewish people, it was not encouraged by any means to interact with Canaanites. In fact, it was kind of looked down upon, and people were encouraged to stay away from them. And so Jesus is approached one day, and this is a point in his ministry where he has only been interacting with Jewish people. And this Canaanite woman comes to him because he's kind of on the edge of the territory where Canaan is. Her daughter is gravely ill, and she is fearful that she is not going to survive. She has tried everything she can to save her daughter, and so as a last resort, she goes to this Jewish rabbi and healer. Now she knew that a good Jewish man would not interact with a Canaanite woman because it would make them unclean from a religious perspective. And they would have to go through cleansing rituals before entering the temple again. But the Canaanite woman was a mom who loved her daughter dearly, and she would do anything to save her. So she tells Jesus the situation, asks for him to heal her daughter, and Jesus responds to her that he has come for the Jewish people. That is his mission. And then he says the phrase, "The children's bread was not meant for the dogs." Pretty harsh statement. But instead of just going away, she stands there and responds, "But even the dogs can have the crumbs from under the master's table." Jesus then says that she has great faith and immediately heals her daughter. Now, after that time, that was a huge turning point in the ministry of this person who's been so influential in the world. He expanded his ministry to all people, Jew and non-Jew or Gentile alike. So Jesus, who many consider a great prophet, a powerful religious leader and visionary, a bodhisattva, or even the Son of God. If this person could admit he was wrong about something and change his mind, certainly any of us can do the same. It just takes humility. One of the most powerful things we can do in life, one of the most courageous things we can do, is admit when we are wrong and when we show humility. Now, Now, our theme for this month is Awakening Curiosity. Curiosity enables us to be more fully humble. If we are curious about others, curious about the world around us, then we're going to know that we don't know everything. Because in this world, we just see through a mirror dimly. Julia Galef wrote, "Discovering you were wrong is an update, not a failure. And your worldview is a living document meant to be revised." It's so hard for us to be truly curious if we do not have humility and do not try to practice humility. It's an ongoing daily thing that we have to continue to try to embody. Now, these two aspects of ourselves, curiosity and humility, they dance together. Now, if you read our newsletter that came out at the beginning of the month, and you'll note that I asked each one of us in our church community to write a question every morning. There's no quiz. I'm not going to ask who's done it and who hasn't. It's okay, all right? So hopefully you're happy. If you haven't been, I hope you can do it at least a few days this month. So let's think about the nature of the questions that we have. Obviously, we're going to have curiosity about things that, we don't really know much about. Do we have curiosity about things that we think we know well? Now, in recent days, I was fortunate to attend a international spirituality conference. I attended virtually, and was able to hear some of the great spiritual leaders, people I've studied their works, read their books. A couple of the individuals are in their 80s. And these are people who are seen as experts in their field. And yet one thing I consistently heard each one of them say is how much they did not know, how curious they were about the world, that was a foundational part of their spiritual journey. And even questions that were coming through on the chat on Zoom, these such wise, gifted people saying, "Oh, that's an excellent question. I've never thought of that." They've embodied the spiritual value of humility. Now, I encourage each one of us in the coming days to reflect about perhaps why it can be challenging at times for us to be humble, because we all have pride, right? It lies in different areas. Each one of us has it. I've had to really think about my own in recent weeks as I've been exploring this topic. Now, we know that pride comes before a fall, but it also hinders our curiosity. Now, this is not the same thing as confidence, because pride allows no room for being wrong. When I think about what is at the core foundation of this church, of Piedmont UU Church, it is that we are beloved community. Beloved community. Beloved community is not possible without curiosity and humility. And as we seek to help change this world for the better, this broken world that we're living in, curiosity and humility will enable us to continue to follow that journey. So today, we give thanks for the dance of curiosity and humility. We give thanks for the times when we are wrong, and that we ask for the humility to recognize that. It is this dance that allows us to be more fully transformed by the divine light of creation. So let us go forth today dancing this dance and allow transformation to come forth. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Thank you so much, Anne. Let there now be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of that dream. This month we're sharing our offering plate with green faith, because the earth and all people are sacred and at risk. Green faith is building a worldwide, multi-faith climate and environmental movement. Together, Green Faith members create communities to transform ourselves our spiritual institutions and society, to protect the planet, and to create a compassionate, loving, and just world. Our hosts will pass around the baskets, and we ask that you pass the baskets down the row as you receive it. You may place your gift in the basket as they make their way around the room, and of course you're always welcome to give online at puuc.org or by texting PUUC at the number 73256. Today's offering will now gratefully be received.
We give thanks for these generous gifts which you have given this morning, which enable us to continue to be a beloved community. I invite you now to please rise and bow to your spirit for our closing hymn, number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. Till hymn. Thanks for all the many volunteers who helped make our service possible today. I also ask if you are able after the service to help out with the hymnals and take them place them on the cart near the piano, that's always a big help. So let us do as we do each Sunday and take a few moments to give thanks, either in our hearts or with words for others to hear, for the things for which we are grateful today.
I'm grateful for Anne's fabulous piano.
Yes, Anne's fabulous piano playing, always.
I'm grateful my sister-in-law's home after a week in the hospital with a staph infection.
Okay. For our virtual viewers, Cassette is grateful her sister-in-law is back home after being in the hospital for a week with a staph infection. Very glad. For mothers, yes.
I'm grateful my mother's here today for the first time.
Oh, welcome Jason's mom. Okay, glad you're with us. And we're very glad that your family brought you here too. So. Well, we are thankful for all these things and so much more which we hold in our hearts this morning. Let us close with these words from Reverend Tandy Rogers. May your wonder be bigger than your fear. May questions lead you gently into truth, not control. May you meet the unknown with wide eyes and let your spirit be surprised. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light, its warmth, and its meaning with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we may wander. May it be so. Now for our closing hymn, we form a circle, and you may hold hands if you would like, or you may simply place your hands on your heart.
Yeah.